I always gardened, even as a child. My bedroom was always like a jungle, a menagerie of animals and plants. It used to drive my mother nuts. So I always gardened. I always had a strong passion for gardening, and it led me there. And I think everybody goes back to the soil eventually, whether you're buried there or you go voluntarily. And I felt like I wanted to do things a little bit differently. And also I wanted to earn a living wage. I liked what I was doing, so I thought, well, I'll just go open my own store. So I did. It was scary because I didn't have a lot of working capital, nor could I generate any. I went day to day, month to month, week to week, year to year. It's been a good success. I like to grow everything. I think diversity is important, and it makes life more interesting. And you name it, I've probably tried to grow it. I teach people every day here, and I teach the employees. Some people teach me. I did teach at San Quentin Prison for a number of years, an organic gardening class, and shared a lot of what I know with the men there at the prison. I went in as a guest speaker to talk about organic gardening, and the director of the program called me and told me that I was well received and the men really enjoyed my talk and asked me if I would come on as staff. So I did, and I went most Fridays for 2 to 3 hours, and half of that was lecture and half of that was spent in a small Mediterranean type garden in the middle of one of the prison yards. Yes, these are dangerous men. These men I were dealing with had anywhere from 6 months to 3 years to go in their sentence, and this was a transitional type program for them. So they were on fairly good behavior, very little trouble. Many of them were very, very smart. They just made really dumb decisions, which got them into prison. Many of them probably are just victims of social circumstance. And I expected what I saw when I went there. I admit I did have a morbid curiosity, which is one of the reasons why I went there, but still was very satisfying for me to be able to share organic gardening with these men. It gave them a sense of power to have a basic horticultural knowledge. One thing that I guess stood out was they were still able to maintain an upbeat attitude often. Lots of comic relief, lots of positive outlook. They didn't have any type of doomsday attitude. They all looked forward to getting out, and so yeah, that always surprised me. I can't imagine, being under those circumstances. I feel like I might just be so depressed I could hardly talk. But most of the men were fairly upbeat, so that stood out. I told the men you should have fun with it, so just be responsible when you're gardening and try to share it with others.